Okay, I haven't done a video kind of off topic for a while. Like maybe off topic, like there's the movie and book lists, there's the COVID-19 pandemic chronology videos, and then there's kind of the critter videos. And so I'm like, well, what's something to do with topic? It's been a little while, not that long, but a little while. So what are just come up with some random talking points. So I came up with a list of talking points this afternoon, midday/afternoon. I guess it's early afternoon. The lighting is different. It used to be later. So it's kind of fragmented, thrown together because this is just talking, and today is Tuesday, 8 November 2022. Here we go. So up first is breath control and artistic swimming and potential application in survival scenarios. So artistic swimming is a sport. They will come really high out of the water or be upside down and do like twirls upside down or like splits. So their heads underwater, their torso's underwater, but then they come up and do like splits and leg acrobats and stuff. And they'll be under for a while and they're like working out and working hard. And so they have some very impressive and incredible breath control to be doing so much and not inhaling, or to overcome that very basic kind of primal, I need to breathe, I'm going to inhale. That comes with like land sports have the luxury of, if one needs to breathe, inhale. Can't do that in artistic swimming, or one would swallow water and drown. That's the drowning, is inhaling too much water. And so I was thinking, it was like, and I think the case in point of kind of, it becomes so ingrained in the person, that kind of thing, that and this happened this past summer, is a artistic swimmer fainted and they did not drown. And part of that not drowning comes from that training of their body to not inhale. So when the person passes out, their body knows not to inhale, right? Because they're already underwater and they've trained themselves to do that. And I was thinking, it was like, I watched this movie with my parents recently, and it's about a tsunami and stuff. And it's like, if one's hit by a tsunami, and like a tall tsunami, so, you know, when standing on ground and the tsunami is 12 feet tall or 15 feet tall, and one's only like 5 feet tall, you still got to get to the top of that water column and stuff. And you might be, the person might be impaled by like tree branches or floating car, like door, like metal objects or something. And they still have to get to the top. And while they're being impaled and fighting to get to the surface, if they inhale, they die, right? So there's a bit of that artistic swimming, training oneself to not inhale when exerting themselves underwater, could actually be the difference between life and death in a survival scenario such as a tsunami. And I'm also thinking, it's like, there's two different paths of developing the same skill, right? One could be in a natural disaster, in a tsunami, and develop that skill. They're like, crap, I gotta learn, it's a pass or fail course, right? Can I hold my breath and get to the surface while being hit by tree branches and stuff like that? Heavy metal objects or stuff like that. And so it's like pass fail, versus the artistic swimming might not be quite as severe unless one faints or something. But I was like, it's same skill set developed very different ways, but with one's potentially, if one is an artistic swimmer, that might actually carry over to real life survival situations, which I was like, it's kind of an interesting perk. Every sport has its own kind of random perk, and that's one for artistic swimming. It's not quite the same for pool swimming, especially a stroke like freestyle or breaststroke, where one can breathe every stroke. It's just like part of the design of the stroke. If one really wanted to, one could breathe every stroke or every other stroke, and that's not the case for artistic swimming. So it's breath control is far more extreme in artistic swimming than pool swimming or open water swimming. Okay, so that's the first thing. Up next, I've mentioned my soulmates, husband, stuff like that. I do not interact with my in-laws. Yeah, and that is a blanket approach. We don't do that. My soulmates took my surname, so Leonhardi. So they interact with my family, not the other way around. They joined my family. I did not join theirs. Okay? That's kind of always been taking somebody else's name is about joining that family. That's just kind of how that works. And then projecting that forwards for if, when I live with my soulmates, yeah, they might interact with my family in person. And then that might include my grandparents and my aunt and uncle, not necessarily my step aunt. And then my sister and brother-in-law, possibly. I don't know. My sister and my brother-in-law are insanely busy. Kind of, I have a whole bunch of friends and stuff like that. So I don't know how if that would happen, period, or that kind of thing. Kind of that would depend more on them than on us. We want the, you know, seeing my families at holidays and stuff like that. Yeah, and part of maturing, if I'm living with my soulmates, and not a pandemic daydream, this has always been a dream, is I'm going to celebrate my birthday with my husband and their birthdays, like, with each other. So we might lose a little bit of that, but maybe do an occasional birthday here and there. And then there's Mother's Day and Father's Day. Figure something like that out. Still getting to see them. Are those holidays? That kind of thing. Okay. Up next, very serious. In the construct, Burger King or McDonald's, I do live in the United States of America. Which one is better? I prefer Burger King. I prefer everything Burger King, including the fries. And that was like, we ate more McDonald's growing up. I got Burger King and I had my first Whopper ever. First time having a Whopper was in Minnesota. We flew in to Minneapolis, St. Paul. My dad's side of the family, like both his dad and his mom, they come from like Minnesota. So like, or like it goes back that way. So like a bunch of my dad's side of the family lives in Minnesota. So we went and visited family in Minnesota growing up. And the first time I ever had a Whopper was in Minnesota. And I loved it. And I loved the fries way more. My sister is the love, like she would go to McDonald's just for fries. We have very different taste buds. Okay, it wasn't like it's her thing or my thing. And not that I didn't dislike McDonald's, just in the framework, McDonald's versus Burger King, I prefer Burger King, but I will still eat McDonald's. It's not like I hate one of them. It's just like Burger King for me. Okay. Versus for my sister, she likes McDonald's. And for her, she didn't actually like Burger King. So I liked both and she only liked McDonald's. Up next is pizza. It's a similar thing. Domino's or Pizza Hut. So my sister and I were actually, this one we actually kind of shared, but except for in like one area. So growing up, we both, our absolute favorite was actually neither of those. It was Round Table Pizza, which is a chain. But I don't think we actually knew it was a chain at the time, kind of thing. So we loved Round Table Pizza, and then the Round Table Pizza like shut down or it moved locations or something. So then we ended up that we had a Pizza Hut nearby and you could call in for Domino's. And Pizza Hut growing up, they had these like individual pizzas. Oh, and they were so good. And my sister and I both loved those. She, however, preferred Domino's, like call in and order, 2 times Tuesday. We did a bunch of that growing up. She preferred Domino's and I was okay with Domino's, but I preferred Pizza Hut and she did not like Pizza Hut. So it was it's kind of a way of saying she got her way a lot because I was okay with both and she was not okay with both, like kind of thing. And so it ended up, and especially once the Pizza Hut closed down, it was kind of like, okay, we'll just do Domino's. And I was okay with it. I preferred Pizza Hut. So in the Pizza Hut or Domino's, I prefer Pizza Hut. But I'm also okay with Domino's, where she's like only Domino's and not Pizza Hut kind of thing. It's kind of how it worked growing up. Is I was more flexible and she was more like, I don't like that. She's a very, one of the pickiest eaters I've met in my entire life, and I lived in a sorority. Okay, that's 100 girls. Yeah. Okay. Up next, in the construct of human children, daughters or sons, I agree with each of my soulmates and my soulmates collectively, and we are 100% unwavering daughters. On sons, just no male children. No female children. Okay, that's for us. So that's me. I feel that way. Each of my soulmates feel that way, and all of my soulmates feel that way. Okay. All right, more serious note, and then we do a happy note, and then or not happy note, but less serious. And I guess this next one, depending on one's life perspective, this might not actually be serious whatsoever. Will Russia leave Fina and Len possibility of joining Asia? So, I mean, it's been, like, FINA is the world governing body for aquatic sport, and they had this thing going before they canceled the World Junior Swimming Championships for 2022 and then re-implemented it, but in a different location and stuff, where they were going to force Russian children to compete in their own country without their country name, without their country flag, and without their national anthem, which like, and instead donning what FINA wanted them to wear and that kind of stuff. And I was like, that is like, isn't that Nazi tactics? Okay, like, they were legit had this all set up to do that to the Russian children. And I was like, in some ways that actually makes the Nazis look nice, yeah, because the Nazis focused on everybody, and homosexuals, Poles, and then people who practice Judaism. So it targeted 3 groups in all ages, versus FINA uniquely targeted just Russian children. And they were gonna, and on top of doing that, they were gonna do it in their own country, right? We're forcing Russia to host this thing after